Hello YouTube, Ronan Kazi here, screwing up the beginning, let me try it again. Destiny 2, final campaign mission. So what I've tried to do, and have been successful, I try to save this kind of content for the other two YouTubers I play with on Destiny, Ultimate Shield 340 and Sloth Moods. Sloth Mood had a video of the final boss where he fights him from under the stairs, so I keep waiting for that part. A couple of interesting things that are not in this video that I did after the video. I never knew I could change this glaive and reconfigure it so it's a better weapon, and I did that, and it's an awesome weapon now. It was okay before, but I got rid of some of the shittier talents. As I've used more and more of the strand, I like it because it helps me move around. So on top of having blink and strand powers, my crippling jumpitis is reduced. This is the phase where you're going to get, I'm going to call him Nimrod, whatever that guy's name that didn't die. Rohan died, but this other guy didn't. He's got the turrets going with the arc generators, and then dude's daughter is bringing her people in to do the battle. So it's we're kind of in this phase, trying to get to the boss phase. We're beating all the minions. Sloth has soloed this, Ultimate has soloed this, and they helped me get through this part as usual. They had to carry me, and there was a really horrible section where I was having jumpitis and I couldn't jump anywhere. This is in a back area behind the turrets. It's probably not the best place to be. Probably want to be out with the guns and support of the guns. Ultimate Shield's got a great build. He has a great idea of what he wants to be in this game. And I watched his video, and I'm not going to say it inspired me, because I still don't know what I want to do in the game. I'm still learning Destiny. I don't play with those guys all the time because I'm trying to figure out what I want to be. And since this video, I've gotten a lot different. Partly, some of it's helped with Ultimate Shield has a nice video that explains a lot of things. And even though I don't use some of them, his reasoning, he's a very good person to follow because he has a good way he explains things and draws it out. And so even if you're not doing what he's doing, he gives you a framework to put that into what you're doing, right? So you can analogize it like, okay, he was trying to do this, but what am I trying to do? And you can see that I've always wanted to be sword guy. So some mechanics that I don't understand yet is when I'm a sword guy in Destiny 2, I can't really do my melee skill because I guess that is a melee skill. So I got to do some research on that. And I appreciate this game would be a lot easier if I would just take time to, and there's Ultimate Resume. Thank you, Ultimate. But his video kind of put in clarity, like what is the purpose of my character? And so I'm starting to get that. And since then, I got a build where I feel a lot better about. I'm still going to suck in PvP. But what I think in all of these games is what happens in real life. You try to be good at everything, or a little bit good at everything, right? You want to be a decent father, a decent husband. You don't say, I'm going to be a shitty husband so that I can be a better father. You try to find a way in general to kind of do both, because in the real world, there's real linkages to all of this. And these fucking dogs. If you keep messing with blue, I'll cut you. I'm going to go get the sprayer. So there's real consequences when you neglect one. So let's say you want to give your wife all the attention, you neglect your kids. That might not have an immediate short-term detriment, but it's going to have a huge detriment in the long term. So I think in general, it's good to be a jack of all trades, master of none. And that's, I'm not going to quote the whole quote, but that quote goes on a little bit further than that. And I guess the whole point, what I'm trying to say is, I get lost here. This is fantastic. Now I can see them on the map, but I'm like, oh, we've been here before. And they're off doing stuff, and I'm just so lost right now. I'm like, I can see them on the radar, but I can't find them. Ambrosia. That's the safe word. But what happens is, in a game, that's the worst possible thing you can do is spread all your skills out a little bit. In games, because it's a game, you need to min-max. And so what I'm always trying to do is find some inefficiencies in the game where, in Division 2, I think Vile Jammer is super OP'd because you don't have to ever get in contact with the enemy and you can just destroy them through walls. I don't want them to change that. It's just like, sometimes I don't understand why you do it any way other than that. But that's just me. So I think I found that for me, and okay, I get lost again. I'm like, okay, where am I supposed to go, guys? And then they're not there, and they're not on my map, and it's behind me. And eventually I'm going to turn around. And part of my problem with the game is I just don't, I haven't played enough, so I don't look for the cues or the clues on what to do. And so I'm going to go back again. And instead of looking up now, I go, oh, crap, they're down below. So I'm going to go catch up with them. So there's this thing, games, you're going to min-max. You're going to maximize one area. I'm looking for exploits where I can use a skill that's going to be super powerful in a way that's not necessarily how the developers intended. There might be some inherent risk to that, but it's going to be powerful. Now, might not work in PvP. I'm not worried about PvP. I'm never worried about PvP. It's a gameplay I do. Destiny 2 is so awesome because I can just take all of my skills and put them into resilience, and I just won't die as fast. I'm still going to die, but I just won't die as fast. Some of the scores and ratios in the games are just eye-wateringly bad. It's like the worst, smelly, whatever. And then I look at my score, I'm like, oh, I didn't even think that was humanly possible. So that's not going to get better. So at this point, Sloth is telling us to, go solar on everything and change your thing to where you get like, I'm getting more heavy ammo, but I'm going to make it where I'm more resilient to solar damage. And so Destiny 2 is good like this. You don't have to go back to the warehouse and recraft it. I mean, you just do it all on the fly, which is how it should be, because if you're so super powerful, you should just be able to, do this. And I guess, if I was smart, I would save these builds and these different things and test them out and do it that way. So the game's becoming easier for me, and I understand it a little bit more. And my gear is better. But that's a good thing about min-maxing. Again, we could argue about whether you think you should do that in real life. But these are the studies that they find. They find more sports injuries with modern athletes because they focus on one sport from the time they're young. They might only play baseball. They might only throw pitching. And so they have kind of arm injuries. Whereas, like you talk about someone like Wayne Gretzky or Michael Jordan or these other people that are really good, they played a lot of different sports when they were growing up. And they didn't just focus on that. And they focused later on in their life. And I think there's a lot of benefit into having all those kind of that wide range of experience. In my work life, as a bosun mate in the Coast Guard, a bosun mate, that's what they say, jack of all trades, master of none. You know a little bit of everything. You know some navigation, but you're not a quartermaster. You know weapons, but you're not a gunner's mate. You know what officers do, but you're not an officer all the time. And I'm talking about in the Coast Guard. And you have some specialties in the deck force, but man, you do paint, You do rigging, you do small boats, you just do everything. I love being a boatmate because you just got to touch everything. So maybe I'm biased, but I think in the real world, when my kids ask me a question about something, I was always able to answer it, or I didn't feel ashamed to look it up or to explain that. But that wonder you have as a child, why is the sky blue? Why do stars twinkle? All of that stuff, if you go answer it, it gives you a deeper breadth of knowledge. So, anyways, min-maxing. But in a game, you should min-max. In Division, if you want to have a mediocre build, make sure you spread all your skills around. Make sure that you have 2 yellows, 2 reds, and 2 blues. Those are okay, but you don't necessarily kill anything fast. And in a game, you want to kill things fast. And in modern game design, they're going to make their premiums on killing things fast versus turtling and being able to weigh things out. And just wait them out, not weigh them out. So I enjoy playing with these two people. They're absolutely great. Great senses of humor. Really on top of their games. Both really well game players. Ultimate. I don't know him, but from YouTube and playing some games. But he strikes me as a person that, he sees things at first, and then he'll think about them and analyze them and find a way to overcome them. And that's a skill that is fantastic. He's a new father. That's a skill that he can teach his children. He might share with his wife. It's a recipe for success of problem solving like that. And same thing with Sloth. Sloth, if he can't do it, he'll find a resource that tells him how to do it. But he'll try it himself. He's not a person that just booked. If you watch some of his videos, he had one video. It was fantastic. It was painful to watch because he died so many times. But he was just showing over and over his progression through something. And it strikes home a good point because a lot of times that's how you get better at things, is just trying and doing. Now, doing the same thing and expecting different results, right? They say that's the recipe, or that's the definition of crazy. And I would agree with that. You got to try stuff, but if you change too many items when you're doing experiments, you're going to lose. Okay, so this is the part that Sloth did a video about. I'm going to take the new strand stuff because I kind of like it. Remember, I'm mobile challenged, so look at me going up, trying to be smart and get some advantage on this guy. I'm imagining that these things are blockers and I can strafe and kill them, so I'm pretty happy with myself. Sloth had a strategy where he went under the stairs, and I'd understand why you do that. If you were slow to see those stairs over there, I guess you can go under them somehow. And so I have a stasis weapon that I get. You can see I got a hail barrage of 5 now. As I kill minions, this stacks till 5, and then when I just, I don't want to say dry aim, I just aim, wildly aim, it produces the, oh crap, lasers. Lasers! But my handy green stuff saves me. And so I use that to kill the other things. That's Caesar behind me. He wants to go night-night, but I'm doing video talk at almost 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I eventually go up on a platform, and I'm just going to kill everything up here and eventually kind of help those guys by putting things off in the middle and kill these things on the side. I have pretty decent resilience, so I can handle stuff and I can kill stuff relatively quick, so I'm in a good spot. I'm not too much overgeared for this mission. My trusty sword, I've put it aside because I realize I'm not going to do melee, but I don't know if I want to play like that the whole time, so we'll see. And one of those things about PvP, you don't get that ammo, so you just got to learn to not play with that ammo. And I understand why, because it makes sense, because other people just grenade everyone. So I get back near my teammates, and I'm going to sit out here and do stuff. check on them. Strafe, I'm checking the radar. It's going pretty good. This time I normally say thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, commenting, sharing. Everyone has been great. Thank you for helping to make this channel over 300 subs. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate when people comment. I learn a lot. Oh gosh, that hurt. Supercharged. So, to me, this was relatively easy, but I'm playing with two people I feel super confident with. You can see the boss doesn't stay focused on me, which means that I'm not doing that much aggro. That's probably ultimate, put in a lot of aggro on the boss or taunting them maybe in some of the skills. I don't know if they're taunting here. And so I love Void, but Strand is my thing. I'm really liking Destiny. I don't mind doing the Gambit, or I don't mind dying in PvP 3 times in 3 matches. It's 45 minutes of my life. What am I going to do to get better gear? And then I got to start doing the other thing, the Vanguard missions, which I like doing those missions. And I want to say that people on Destiny 2, maybe they can't even see this channel, but no one's been really, everyone's been super polite and super helpful. So I like the Destiny 2 community. I like the Division 2 community. Those folks have been great. These Ultimate Shield and Sloth Moon, if you can check out their videos. If you like Harry Potter, please check out Ultimate Shield. Has a series on Hogwarts. If you're wondering what the game's like, he lets you see the gameplay and lets you kind of get a feel for what the game's like. If you want good biting humor, Sloth Moon is a person to follow and watch. Thanks, everyone. Ronakazi out.